Today, friends, we are doing something that I am so excited about. I don't often read new releases because I really prioritize getting through what's been on my TBR the longest, if I'm being so honest with you. So today we're doing some new releases, some new release 5-star predictions. What is better than that? And the answer is nothing. So the 3 books, technically 4. I am probably going to throw in my thoughts and feelings on the new Abby Jimenez book in this video. It's my book club pick for April, and April 1st is literally next week. I just haven't bought it yet, so I don't have it to show you here, but here it is. Can't even remember what it's called, but just know we will talk about that. But what I do have present with me is we have one thriller, which is Her Last Breath by Taylor Adams. I am manifesting this to be a 5-star. One of my favorite thrillers of all time is No Exit by this author. However, I hated the other book that I read by him, which was The Last Word. I thought that book sucked. So it really could go either way, but I'm deciding to put good vibes into the world. So this book says, after years of excuses, Tess has finally agreed to go caving with her best friend Allie. Their lives have diverged sharply since high school. Allie is a self-made travel influencer, while Tess is a shy and claustrophobic legal assistant struggling to pay for law school. Maybe Tess is a little bit jealous of Allie's globe-trotting lifestyle, but who wouldn't be? As Tess and Allie descend into the depths, they realize they are not alone. A stranger who claims to be a fellow caver harasses them. Confident take-no-shit Allie insults the guy, and he retaliates. Soon, Tess is trapped inside a narrow crawl space hundreds of feet underground, fighting to stay alive. 24 hours later, as a hospitalized Tess recounts her harrowing story of survival, the detective interviewing her shares new shocking news about Allie's true past. Together, they begin to suspect the brutal attack wasn't so random after all. Who is Allie really? Why did this man target them? And did Tess really leave the danger behind when she escaped the cave? The idea of being trapped in a cave gives me heart palpitations, so that's a good step for a thriller. Then we've got No Matter What by Cara Bastone. I am obsessed with Promise Me Sunshine. I have her other book, Ready or Not. I've not read that one yet, but Promise Me Sunshine was my favorite book of last year, and I love like the cover of this book, so here's to hoping. This one says, Roz and Vin can't look at each other in the eyes anymore, let alone share a bed. It has been a year since they survived a life-altering accident, and their marriage has not been the same since. But Roz has held out hope that they can fix things until she discovers Vin has signed a new lease. So she does what any soon-to-be-divorced Manhattanese would do, sign up for a figure drawing class. Between Roz's determined attempts to improve her artistic skills and her adventures with her best friend Rafi, she can almost ignore Vin's impending move-out date and his footsteps in their previously unoccupied guest room. But it would be a lot easier if Vin wasn't Rafi's older brother, and if she didn't find him incredibly, debilitatingly attractive and kind. So kind, in fact, that Vin offers to let Roz draw him, and when she's supposed to say it's probably better than her original plan to find some random male model online, and she needs all the practice she can get. Plus, that's sure to make a separation easier, right? Focus on every detail of your estranged spouse's body while drawing him in the nude. But after the year they've spent avoiding each other, it feels good to see and be seen by one another again. As Roz works to capture the wholeness of the person she fell in love with, they both be able to draw upon feelings they buried deep inside to finally heal together. Something that's really tragic about this so far, I don't picture things in my head while reading. If you look at the like aphantasia thing, like I'm a 5, like I picture nothing. And so when I'm reading books, I will associate a character with how they look based on somebody I know with that name, or for example, one of my good friends, Emily, she has red hair. So anytime a female main character has red hair, in my head, it's like that's what they look like, Emily. When I think of Roz, I think of the lady from Monsters, Inc. So send help. And then the one that's I think most likely to be a 5-star is this one, In Her Own League by Liz Tomforde. I am obsessed with the Windy City series. I did give all of the books in the series 5 stars. I do not really think that Rewind It Back is a 5-star. This girl I watch on YouTube, Beth, she rated it 4 stars, then went back and rated it 5 stars with the caveat that she can't stop thinking about the characters. And that's how I felt about book 5 in the series, is I gave it 5 stars because I just loved all the other characters, but Rio and Hallie as a couple, not my favorite. But this is a spin-off book, and also I need your opinion. Does this go on my bookshelves? Because I have my bookshelves color coordinated besides my series, which is here and a little bit elsewhere, but does this go with the Windy City series, or does it go by itself in the red section or orange section, whatever? Let me know. But this is about Monty, the coach. So this says, as the first female owner of a Major League Baseball, Reese Remington has spent her entire life preparing for this role. With a sharp mind and years of experience working behind the scenes, she is more than qualified. But the public only sees a woman in a man's world, not the person who's earned their place in the field. Under constant scrutiny and pressure to prove herself, Reese can't afford distractions, especially one that comes in the form of the team's tempting field manager, who questions her every decision. Emmett Montgomery is a former all-star turned coach who treats his players like family and the field like a home. After years of running the team his way, the last thing he wants is a new boss, let alone one who seems ice cold and laser focused on business. But forced to spend long hours and too many away games side by side, he begins to see the fire beneath Reese's control, the heart behind her ambition, and the unwavering determination to prove herself. When heated banter turns into sizzling chemistry, professional boundaries blur, and the spark between them becomes impossible to resist. But Reese is constantly reminded of how many people are waiting for her to fail. The safest move is to keep Emmett at arm's length for the sake of the team, the season, and her career. But keeping their distance is one game neither of them can seem to win. So, very excited to be back in this world with these characters and to read all these ones plus the Abby Jimenez. So, let's get into it, baby. I have not started this yet, but I did want you guys to know that this is where we are going to be starting with this video because I am very excited about it. So, and whoa, this bad boy did arrive in the mail. The hardcover was on sale for 20 bucks, so we picked her up. So we have our additional book for this video, but I am going to start with In Her Own League because I need to read more Windy City content, more Liz Tomforde. I cannot wait for her new series, but I wanted to let you know that's where we are going to begin. We are here for my spooky nighttime chats, and I stand by. These chats don't hit as hard without the Christmas tree, but finished our first book. I did finish In Her Own League by Liz Tomforde, and I predicted correctly. We did end up on a 5-star with this one. I wasn't sure getting into it if I was going to end up on a 5-star, but I cried so many times reading this. So in this book, this is about Monty, and if you haven't read any of the books in the series, there's going to be spoilers. It just is what it is. This is the companion, a spin-off book to a 5-book series involving all of the same characters. Not really all of them. It pretty much only involved Isaiah and Kai. So, whatever. But they were obviously the best characters. So, basically, this is about Monty. Emmett Montgomery goes by Monty. He is the, coach for the Windy City Warriors, which is the baseball team. And they recently got a new owner. Their old owner was 70-something years old, this old guy who was retiring, and it went down to his granddaughter. She's the first and only woman in the history to ever own an MLB team, and she's kind of getting a lot of shit for it, as women do. And Monty, he's a girl dad. He is all about supporting women and them being strong and powerful and being able to handle things, which we live, laugh, love to see. And so we kind of see him and her butt heads. He is up for his contract renewal this year, and he's not sure if she's going to renew him because she seems to be making cuts left and right, and he doesn't really think that she has the team's best interest in heart. Oh no. as we find out throughout the story, she is actually like going above and beyond to try to do the right thing by these people. She comes into this mindset that she's going to run this baseball team like a business because that's what it is, but that's just really not what it is to her. Baseball to her is family. It's been in her family for all of these years, and she grew up at this baseball field going to the dugout when she needed time to be alone. This is her safe place. These are her safe people, and it's always going to be like a family to her. So when she and Emmett start to talk and she realizes he is the only person willing to go to bat for her, willing to be in her corner, willing to apologize when he's wrong and to stand up to these assholes, not because she needs him to, because they make it very clear. She makes it clear, he makes it clear. She does not need anybody to stand up for her and do these things, but he's doing it for her because she deserves to have somebody in her corner. And there was this kind of like phrasing about how she never in her whole life was able to feel safe with people, and she always has on this suit of armor, and it's literally what made me sob, because like the way she was describing Emmett being someone who like makes her feel so seen and feel so safe and feel so protected, and like she can take off the armor for a little while because she knows that not everything is on her plate, and that if she takes it off, things are still going to get done, and she doesn't have to be the one to do everything all of the time, is so deeply how I feel about my husband, especially over the last couple of months. Whew. I'm gonna cry again thinking about it, but yeah, it really, really hit home. The double epilogue, I hated that. The first epilogue was just a spice scene, and I could not be bothered. I honestly skipped it, but I really liked the second one. It was really cute and emotional, and I love a female main character who does not want to have a kid, and spoiler alert, does not end up pregnant. I feel like I read a lot of books where the main female character is like, yeah, I don't want kids, and then she ends up pregnant and deciding to have the baby anyway, and it changes her life. And as somebody who does not have kids and does not want kids, it was nice to see a female main character who does not want them and does not have them. That was incredible. 5 stars, easy 5 stars, Live, Laugh, Love. Her new series is coming out in the fall, and I believe it says that there's no description, but it says we met some of the characters in Rewind It Back, and from what I've heard discourse online, it's going to be about Hallie, the like girl that lives with Hallie, who's like Rio's across the street neighbor, her story. So I'm excited about it. I don't really care about Hallie and Rio cameos though, because I didn't really care for them. But we are going to be starting this book next, The Night We Met by Abby Jimenez. I didn't get to read you guys the description because I didn't have the book before. Also, I will swiftly be taking the dust jacket off. I am going to annotate it. I am a sprayed edge lover. I hate that book 1 did not have a sprayed edge and book 2 does. That does in fact bother me because I won't put tabs in this. I will annotate it with like the title pages. They like have fireworks on them. I will annotate it with like highlighter and pen, but I won't put tabs in a book that has sprayed edges. But I will be taking the dust jacket off because I absolutely cannot read a book like this. I need to let my books relax. They deserve to be in the nude, you know what I mean? Just chillin', not so formal. But this says, in everyone's life, there's a split-second decision that can change everything. For Larissa, it came when choosing which guy to ride home with after a concert. That night, she had no idea she'd met the perfect man. She and Chris are great together, co-parenting a slightly unhinged rescue Yorkie, sharing their favorite books, and judging Brad Pumpernickel for the win. For the first time after all of her side hustles to scrape by, things finally feel easy. But Chris isn't the one who drove Larissa home all of those months ago. Chris is her boyfriend's best friend. All Chris wants is for Larissa to be happy. Standing by on the sidelines is slowly killing him, but making a move would destroy someone else. How can something that feels so right be so absolutely impossible? So I will admit, I watched Larry. I watched her video where she read this, and she hated this book and gave it 2 stars. And she gave spoiler warnings. I don't really care about spoilers, especially for a romance, so I do know about some of the stuff that happens in this book. And I will say I'm a little bit worried about the setup because I don't know that I love the idea of him just pining after her and her being with his best friend. Like, I don't know that that setup's gonna work for me, but also I don't think I've ever given Abby Jimenez less than 4 stars. And she could basically write the phone book and I would be like, wow, amazing, love it. Book 1 of this series is my favorite book by her. No, that's a lie. But I have a 3-way tie for my favorite book by her. Maybe a 2-way tie. I think my 2-way tie is Yours Truly and Say You'll Remember Me. Yours Truly is number 1. Say I'll Remember Me is number 2. I really, really, really loved that book. It really made me sob a lot. It involved a dying mother, and as somebody with a dead mother, it was you know, one of those things. But I am hoping to read most of this tomorrow. I don't have all that much that I need to do, so I need to like edit some videos. So like while I wait for videos to render, I'll probably read it like in between doing things. But I hope the weather is nice tomorrow. I don't think it's going to be, but I read book 1 sitting outside, and I would like to read this book sitting outside. I do have a full spoiler-filled reading vlog of book 1, but this will not be spoilers. But I am excited. I'm going to be using a yellow sparkly highlighter, and I have this cutie little bookmark. It was hard picking a highlighter because this book is mainly navy, but I went with the yellow because I really wanted to use one of my glitter highlighters, and there's no like orange, so I went with yellow. But also these books look really pretty together with their sunsets. But I'm excited to jump into Abby. It's been a year since I've gotten to read her work. I think I need to swiftly here listen to, she has I think 2 or 3 short stories like that are on the Amazon ones you can listen to. I need to get on those because in Abby we trust, and I want to say that I've read everything by her. Okay guys, this is literally just the dust jacket, but we'll hold it and pretend. I am roughly 50% of the way through this book, and I hate to come on here and say this, but I think this is the first Abby Jimenez book I'm going to be rating under 4 stars. I don't know if it's going to be a 3 or a 2, but I'm having so many issues with it. So I think I mentioned to you guys I was worried about the premise because this book is about Larissa, and she's dating this guy Mike. She and her friend were at a concert. She had to pick between if this guy Mike or this guy Chris was going to drive her home, and she picked Mike. She and Mike are dating. Mike fucking sucks, okay? And I have such a bad feeling that book 3 is going to be about Mike, and he could have a redemption arc. He clearly has an alcohol problem, and he clearly has mental health problems that he's refusing to seek help for. So there is a space for a redemption arc, but where it stands right now, I hate him with a burning passion, and I hate her mom, and I kind of hate Larissa. Like, I love Chris's chapters. I really love Chris. He is such a sweetie pie honey bunch, but Larissa is such a fucking enabler, and it's with both Mike and her mother, and it is absolutely driving me nuts as somebody who is the absolute opposite of a people pleaser, the absolute opposite of an enabler. Oh my god, like, people in my real life, they know, like, don't tell me something, like, I don't want to spend X amount of money, so, like, don't let me, like, I will make sure you fucking don't. I don't want to do X, okay, I'll make sure you don't. Like, I'm not, like, it's just so deeply not me. Anywho, so Mike kind of sucks. Flash forward, it's been a couple of months, she's still with Mike, and her mother is having surgery. We think, at first I think I'm going to like this mom and it's going to be this sad story. No. And so Mike is too hungover to bring Larissa and her mother to the hospital because he offered to drive them because Larissa's car's in the shop and her mom's car is sick. He's too hungover, so he calls Chris to drive them. Chris drives them, whatever. He kind of like, Larissa's kind of like, she hasn't eaten, she hasn't slept, she's clearly been crying. He takes her out to literally get bread, learns about this like severe peanut nut allergy that she has, tree nuts and peanuts, the whole 9 yards, and learns that like her dad took out like $30K worth of credit card debt in her name, and so she's dealing with all these things, plus her mom's having this surgery, blah 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 blah. We learned that her mom fucking sucks. Larissa is working as a waitress as well as literally any possible side gig you can think of. Babysitting, cooking food for people, dog walking, like you name it, she's crocheting things, she's doing it to try to make an extra buck because she's stuck in all this debt and the IRS is doing nothing for her. Her mom is out of work because of her wrist. She pays half the bills, and it's like this whole situation. Mind you, Mike is like, comes from this really rich family. His mom owns the diner that Larissa works at. His stepdad works at some plumbing company, and he's kind of been having a silver spoon in his mouth. He doesn't feel like taking over the plumbing business, so he's working part-time as a personal trainer. Literally has no money and is refusing to work at the plumbing place, even though he has like went to school for plumbing. So like, I don't really get it. It's at least until the personal training situation picks up, but as of right now it's not picked up, so I'm not really sure what we're doing here. So Mike and Larissa, he doesn't treat her well. He's literally always drunk, and he keeps putting himself in these situations where Chris has to step up. This whole big friend group is going to be going on this hike thing, but the one friend backs out, and when he backs out, his girlfriend backs out, and then Mike is like, he keeps telling Larissa that he has migraines. Really, he's hungover, and Chris is covering for her. I'm sure that's going to be some sort of third act conflict. or Chris is covering for Mike, and so it's literally just Larissa and Mike. Mind you, before that, they end up kind of like co-parenting this Yorkie dog named Wolverine that they named him. Basically, they found him together. She isn't allowed to have a dog at her apartment. He doesn't have the time because he's a pharmacist to watch the dog. So they kind of co-own this dog. So they're kind of just there like, Mike, where are you at? He's like, oh yeah, like I'm not coming. They end up going on this like 6-mile hike and doing, like, they keep ending in these situations where we're there together. At this point, halfway through, Larissa's making statements where, like, basically being like, yeah, like, those months ago, I had a choice for Chris or Mike to drive me home, and Chris makes me feel safe, and Chris makes me feel XYZ, he does this for me, but I'm going to Mike's. Just break up with him, you dumb fucking bitch. Literally just break up with him and we wouldn't have this issue. Like, the book would be over, just break up with him. Why are you still with him? Like, I don't get it. Then where I'm at now, they go to, like, this Mike's family's lake house. He is belligerent, in her words, the entire time they're there. Before they go, like, Chris calls while Larissa's in the gas station. Chris went out of his way to find like a restaurant on the way there that is a completely nut-free establishment, because even if nuts are in the vicinity, she will have a reaction. He spent $700 out of pocket to get a backup EpiPen for her in case hers doesn't work or she needs an extra dose, because they're that far from the hospital when they're at this lake house. He says to Mike, get everything nut out of the house. Like when she was at your house cooking for you after you got wisdom teeth surgery, she had a reaction to the peanut butter that was on your sponge. Like, it is serious. He's like, oh yeah, man, I totally will. He gets there, there's peanut butter, there's trail mix, there's literally like an entire trash bag worth of shit with nuts in it. Oh my god. Mike needs to go. I hate him, but I also hate Larissa because she can't stand on her own 2 feet. She comes back from this trip and her mom's dating this piece of shit loser named Phil who has no job and like is just shitty. Like, she's literally said how horrible he is 1,000 times. And she keeps making comments about him moving in with her and Larissa, and she's like, no, like, I don't want to live with him. Like, I pay half the bills, and my answer is no. She gets home, she's like, oh yeah, he's staying here for a while. And Larissa's like, no, like, why? But of course, is Larissa going to stand up to her mom? No, she just leaves. It's all so annoying. I would be fucking calling the landlord and having this guy escorted out. He is not on the lease. Bye-bye. But yeah, Larissa pissing me off, Mike pissing me off. The only good one is Chris, and he's in this shitty predicament. But honestly, he deserves better than everybody involved. He should just skedaddle out of the situation. We're back in the living room at 1 in the morning for horror movie Hannah vibes. We have finished The Night We Met by Abby Jimenez. And I really struggled with reading this book. So much of this book was so deeply a 2-star read. The only reason I'm giving it 3 stars is because of the final chapter before the epilogue. There was a bit of like this reconciliation that I think was really healthy and showed a lot of growth. But like in the author's note, I did also like in the author's note, Abby says, P.S. for those who love the Easter eggs, Abby does have a bakery called Nadia's Cakes. It says, I have always slipped into my books. You might have noticed my usual mention of Nadia Cakes wasn't there. Larissa has a severe nut allergy, and while practicing the utmost of care in my bakeries, we do not have an allergen-free kitchen, and the risk of contamination is always there. Because of this, I couldn't have Larissa visiting Nadia Cakes in the books, and it didn't feel organic to have anyone else do so either. So I have to settle for me bringing it up here instead. So I do think that that is cute that like she didn't put it in there because it wouldn't feel natural for it to be part of Larissa's story. But she also wrote in here this being like very much so a like what if the one who got away trope book. It's not, it's the cheating trope. It is what it is. Like, I don't care what anybody says. You're not gonna convince me at all that Larissa was not cheating on Mike. Whether or not you think Mike deserved it or not, Mike, horrible boyfriend dealing with a lot of mental illness and addiction and needing serious help. He was not the boyfriend that Larissa needed him to be. I still don't think that that is a reason to cheat on somebody. Just break up. Just break up. It's really not that hard to simply just break up. And her and Chris's relationship growing, and her on many, at least 5+ times in the book saying, oh, I should have picked Chris. Him being like, oh, she should have come home with me. Woulda, coulda, shoulda. It's literally like the woulda, coulda, shoulda. Like her having all these feelings. It's like shitty of him as a friend to have these feelings for Larissa, but Larissa actively being like, oh, I shouldn't have picked Mike over Chris, but I'm gonna go to Mike's house now. Just break up with him. Go there to break up with him. Oh my God. And the amount of enabling that Chris did for Mike, covering for him, lying for him, picking up the pieces when Mike wasn't, as well as Larissa enabling her mother. Oh, I just could not take it. I'm so scared that book 2 is going to be about Mike. I pray that it's not. I pray that book 2 is about Larissa's best friend Lexi, because I loved Lexi. She was so funny. So I really hope the next book is about her. And I settled on a 3-star. Part of it is probably a little bit biased because I love Abby Jimenez. But the next book I'm going to read, I think I need a little bit of a tone shift, is we're going to go into Her Last Breath by Taylor Adams. This isn't like a particularly long book. I'm not going to annotate this one. I did highlight this book while I was reading it. I knew I was going to keep it. I have all of Abby's books. In book 1 in this series, I gave 5 stars. I'm not going to like just get rid of the middle book. It's just simply not something I can do. I did highlight, but I didn't tab because it has sprayed edges. But thrillers, I don't really think there's not really much quotable in them. And because this is a thriller and it can really go one way or another, I've given Taylor Adams a 2-star and a 5-star, so we will see. I don't want to annotate it and then like not really be able to donate it because I've written in it, so we're not going to do that. But I do like that this book is barely 300 pages and it has 550 chapters. That's going to be good shit. I'm not going to start this now. I'm going to go try to get sleepy because it's late, but we are going to be starting this next. I don't think I will probably read much of it tomorrow. I'm going to have a long work day tomorrow, listening to audiobooks for different videos, but I'll probably start this on Monday. It's Saturday currently. Technically it's Sunday at 1 in the morning, but you know what I mean. Been many a days. We've done laundry, we're wearing the same thing, and I was gonna wait till the morning to talk to you guys about this. I'm literally in my office so that I would have a different background than when I was in the kitchen last time, but I just finished Her Last Breath by Taylor Adams. Because this is a thriller and a pretty short thriller, it's only 320 pages, I figured it's gonna be a quick review because I don't want to spoil anything. Which I feel like romances, it's kind of hard to spoil because what the fuck are you going to spoil if they got together? You kind of go into a romance knowing that's going to be the case. But 5 stars. 5 freaking stars. So Taylor Adams now has 2 5-stars and a 2-star from me. So I'm definitely going to be keeping him on my radar. Oh my God, the stress of this book. The stress of this book. Whew. It's about these 2 friends, Allie and Tess. And Allie is kind of like a famous influencer, and Tess works kind of as like her assistant slash manager part-time, as well as she's in part-time going to school to be a lawyer. Allie has always been like the brave, outspoken, fearless one, where Tess is more timid and shy. Tess has kind of been through a lot of things. She went through an abuse situation as a child, ended up living with Allie for a period of time, and they are like more like sisters really than friends. Allie is trying to get Tess to get out of her comfort zone, so she wants to take Tess on an adventure. Allie's whole like gimmick online is she has a page that's called Keep Calm and Carry On, like carry on suitcase. Budget traveling. Now she's kind of like rich, so it's more just like her traveling, and she just calls it Keep Calm now. But like she went through something pretty serious where she almost died. She got bitten by a poisonous snake and almost, well, she did die and they brought her back to life. So kind of after that she's really been absolutely fearless, and she loves going spelunking or cave diving. And so she invites Tess to come with her. So she and Tess go on this adventure, and as they enter the cave they encounter this man who tells them his name is something. It's just as a fellow stranger, Jacob. I find this man named Jacob, and Jacob is like, oh yeah, I'm doing X, Y, Z. He's really weird and creepy. They kind of like tell him to get lost, and they continue onward. But this isn't like in the like description, but we kind of get these two different timelines. It's like we'll switch mid-chapter because basically Tess is in the hospital talking to Detective Washington and telling her what happened in this cave. And we are getting these in-depth scenes of Tess being trapped in this cave and this guy chasing her. And her only option is to dive deeper and deeper, getting more stuck. It was so claustrophobic, so stress-inducing, and gave me so much anxiety. But the twists, the turns, it was like simultaneously giving me hives from being stressed and giving me chills for being so like shocking. I loved this. 5 stars. So we have 2 5-stars and a 3-star so far in this predicting 5-star video, so that's pretty good. And next up we are going to go with the Cara Bastone book, No Matter What, which is actually really funny because this book and the Abby Jimenez were the ones I think I would probably have been most confident were going to be 5 stars, but this one I'm actually kind of least confident in currently because I have not been seeing the best reviews for this book. I think Sarah Caroli recently gave it 5 stars, but the other people I follow I think have been giving it, I've seen some 3s and some 4s. So I'm hoping I really enjoy it. I love the cover. I think it's absolutely beauty-miss, but I am going to start this one tomorrow. It is 2 o'clock in the morning. I actually don't think I'll probably read much tomorrow. Tomorrow I have D&D, which we don't start D&D till, I mean, maybe I'll read during the day, we will see, but I don't start D&D until like 7:30 p.m, so I'll be going till quite late, so there's that. But another 5-star down, and hopefully 1 more to go, but we will see. Okay guys, I am not very far in this book. I think I'm like 3 or 4 chapters in. I'm not loving it. I don't know, there's just, and I hate saying something about the writing. I felt like I so deeply loved the premise of Promise Me Sunshine, where like she's this girl who's just lost her best friend. We went in with like so much information, but so far in this book we have got Roz and we've got her husband Vin. We know that there was some sort of accident that Vin's brother Rafi, who is best friends with Roz, like that's how they met. They were all together and they got in some sort of accident. Rafi was the most injured, then Vin, and then Roz was the least injured. She was still injured, has scars from it. Basically, Rafi had to move in so that she could help care for all these people, XYZ, and things between her and her husband have not been the same since. It is now a year later. They're coming up on their anniversary of the accident. She refuses to speak about the accident. He wants to talk about the accident. He wants to talk to somebody else who was involved in the accident. We don't know what the accident is, and I feel like for me, not knowing what the accident is doesn't make me want to keep reading to find out. It makes me annoyed because I don't fucking care because I don't know what happened. So, I don't know. And I am just not like an art girly, so like the premise of her, my hair looks so bad because I got caught in the rain. Her like doing these like drawing classes again is not something that's incredibly interesting to me. So we will see. I'm hoping to finish that sometime over the next like 5 days. I have a lot of work to do and I'm going out of town, so I'm hoping I'll have time to finish it before I go out of town, but we'll see where the wind takes us. Okay guys, I have been struggling through this book for like a week now. It is so many days later. And I think I'm just gonna not finish this book in this video because I feel like I'm forcing myself to sit here and read it so that I can get this video up, and it's making me hate this book. And it'll be in my wrap up. I'm still planning on finishing it. I don't think I'm gonna DNF. I'm trying to get to 50%. I've seen some reviews say that it took till like the 50% mark for people to get invested in it, but so far at halfway, literally all we have learned is what is on the 34% is that Roz and Vin were in some sort of accident. They broke up, he's moving out, she's best friends with his brother, and she's taking an art class. And it is just so wordy and so fucking repetitive that I can't be bothered to force myself to read this right now. So I'm hoping I'll finish this soon. Check out my Goodreads for the review, but that's all for today. Bye!